This portion of Bears preseason football is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest Airlines to 25 great destinations from convenient Midway Airport. Little Caesars, 2 great pizzas, 1 low price. And by Hewlett-Packard Company.
And we're back live at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Eddie Robinson of Grambling down on the field for the coin toss.
Won by the Bears.
Won by the Bears. Shaking hands with captains from both sides.
He sent a lot of players to the pros, Tim. I think going back to the days of Tank Younger. So the Bears have won the toss and have elected to receive. And the crowd today is expected to be around 31 or 32,000.
That's kind of eerie. 31,000 at a professional football game. And a lot of it, the responsibility of Al Davis, the Raider owner, who is the carpetbagger of the NFL. Now he's being wooed by Sacramento, Brad. They're going to pay him $50 million up front, plus give him a free stadium. How can he turn that down?
Well, he wants $50 million, but they haven't necessarily raised it. The interest on $50 million comes to $122 million over 20 years. That's a total of $172 million. I don't know if the Sacramento taxpayers are going to stand for that.
Well, they claim that having the Raiders in Sacramento for 20 years will mean $1.3 billion to the economy in Sacramento, and that was a figure determined by the Chicago research firm.
Yeah, well, maybe that's worth $1.3 billion in Chicago, but how about Sacramento? You ever been to Sacramento?
Well, let's not worry about it. We're in Los Angeles right now as we're watching Mike Ditka watch the Bears and Raiders tangle here in the Coliseum. Jeff Yeager will kick it off for the Raiders. He is a former Cleveland Brown, and he'll be kicking to Dennis Gentry and Mark Green. There's Yeager, number 18. And here's the opening kickoff.
Green and Gentry back.
This will be Gentry. Oh, hit immediately by Timmy Ware. Stephon Adams also in there. A return of 9 yards. Dennis Gentry, one of the best kickoff return men in the NFL, and he had nowhere to go. Tremendous. This is Mike Tomczak, the Bear quarterback, who needs a strong outing as he looks forward to taking over the Bears into the regular season. This is Muster. Hit quickly inside by Zeph Lee, number 40, and you see Otis Wilson also involved in the play. We'll see a lot of Otis. Number 79 is Bob Golick, a defensive tackle from Notre Dame. And there you see the Bears backs and receivers, Muster, Anderson, Morris, McKinnon, and Thornton, the tight end. And when it comes to skill position players, the Bears are as good as anybody in the NFC, we would like to think.
Well, the LA Raiders have 3 defensive starters in their line hurting. Howie Long, Scott Davis, Malcolm Taylor, all are hurt.
And there's some question, Brad, as to whether or not Howie Long wants to play football anymore. We doubt we'll see him today. This is Anderson. Nice run. Cuts back inside.
Fumble.
Fumbled ball.
Raiders
say they have it.
Depends where the whistle came. The Raiders definitely recovered, Tim, but I don't know if it was after the whistle or not. I think the Bears are going to retain possession. They are. Boy, that's Neil Anderson fumbled the ball 7 times last season, and already in the preseason we've seen Thomas Sanders fumble it twice. That's one of the things Ditka wants. He's sick of. That's one of the reasons he said they stunk last week.
That's exactly right. That's the most exasperating thing in football for a head coach is a fumble. Even more so than an interception. Tomczak, Muster, and Anderson. Thornton, McKinnon, and Morris, as we've told you.
So we got a first down out of it anyway.
Tomczak pumps deep. McKinnon batted away at the last minute by Lionel Washington.
McKinnon was running a post pattern that time. Lionel Washington is starting today in place of the veteran Mike Haynes. Haynes in his 14th year has 46 career receptions, but this could be his last year, and here it is again. You can see McKinnon's open for momentarily, but a nice play by Lionel Washington. He's the former St. Louis Cardinal. The Raiders acquired him 2 years ago.
Brett, a lot of this Raider defense has some whiskers on them. They've got 5 or 6 defensive starters who were grade B or Plan B free agents last year. It's hard to build a winning combination that way.
That's right. 5 Plan B started last week and 4 today, Tim.
Movement in the defensive front. Here's the draw play to Anderson, who explodes up the middle.
Well, we saw Houston use the draw play effectively against the Raiders last week, and the Bears obviously saw that, as the Raiders had a 4-man rush going on, and the Bears burned them with the draw play. Games. They tell me Long will be back, though, for next week's regular season opener.
We just heard Otis Wilson yell, "Get down, baby, get down." 3rd and 2. Tomczak. Complete to Thornton. Jackie Shipp finally dragged him down, but it was a 13-yard pickup.
Well, Thornton's been a workhorse here in the preseason for the Bears.
He gets better and better every week as a receiver. He got that one up to the 45-yard line as the Bears are moving.
That's his 7th catch in the preseason, the most of any Chicago Bear.
Mike Tomczak appears on target, Brad. The one that Washington knocked down, intended for McKinnon, was there. It was just well played by the cornerback.
Well, Ditka's saying, look, let's just take what the defense gives us. And so far, that's what they're doing. They're moving the football.
This is Anderson in motion. Pitch to Muster. Muster with good momentum. Golick helped bring him down, but not before Brad got close to 5 yards.
Yeah, he carried somebody over there. Somebody missed a block, but Brad Muster is still able to turn that into about a 4.5-yard gain.
You see people follow the Bears wherever they go.
And the Raiders not exactly loved here in L.A.
This is the 7th play coming of this drive. 2nd and 5. This is Anderson for about 3. 5 or 6 Raiders were involved on that stop. That's going to bring up a 3rd and about a long 2. They're calling it 3rd and 3 now. Ball on the 47-yard line of Los Angeles. Pitch to Anderson, the tailback. Looks for his block. Cuts up inside and appears to have gotten the first down. Van McElroy brought him down. Also in that pile is Pete Koch, or do you say Koch?
Depends if you're from New York or...
Well, he's from Los Angeles. So it's Pete Koch, the 5th-year veteran from Maryland.
Actually, he's a 3rd-string defensive end, but Howie Long's not playing, so Mike Wise moves up to take Long's place. And Koch moves over to the right side because both Scott Davis, the former Illini, and Malcolm Taylor are hurt.
1st and 10 Bears. The ball on the Raider 45-yard line. Call it the 44. Tomczak throwing deep. The only person close to that ball is Terry McDaniel, the Raiders' 2nd-year cornerback.
Well, there was a mix-up there. Obviously, Tomczak thought McKinnon was going to run a fly pattern. He didn't, but Tomczak did get great pass protection that time. He had plenty of time. Mike's completed 55% of his passes here in the preseason for an average of 9.1 yards per an attempt. That's very good. He's had 2 balls picked off, but one was on a desperation play at the end of the half a week ago. He's passed for 3 touchdowns. All in all, stat-wise, Mike has good stats here in the preseason.
This is Tomczak. This is Bozo, who can't make the catch. Tom Benson, the linebacker, was involved in the coverage, but had the ball been there, it would have been a completion because Bozo had beaten him by a step and a half.
The ball was there, but it didn't look like a spiral. It looked like kind of a Joe Cap, kind of a flutter ball pass. Did with San Diego was the last week. They were in scoring position or in the other team's territory their first 5 drives.
Here's with 4 wideouts. This is Tomczak. Nice catch. Flag on the play.
Terry McDaniel on the tackle. Ron Morris hauling it in for the Bears, but there's a flag down. Terry McDaniel is playing the left corner in place of Mike Richardson. Richardson got the start last week against the Houston Oilers, and looked typical Mike Richardson. He got burned on one pass that set up the winning touchdown in the final seconds of the game. This is McDaniel. He's got 4.3 speed, and Ron Morris does a little curl and takes the pass, and the penalty is against the Raiders, and the Bears obviously decline. Another first down for the Bears at the Raider 33-yard line. So the Bears really are marching the way Houston marched a week ago, Tim.
Ball's officially spotted on the 32, although it's much closer to the 33. As the Bears have burned a lot of clock here in the first quarter. This is Anderson. Oh, behind the line, dragged down by Greg Townsend.
He's a load. Greg Townsend, 11.5 sacks last year to lead the AFC. He's a lot like Richard Dent. He plays both as a defensive end and a right side linebacker. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down, but his main forte is rushing the passer, and in this case, the running back.
He had nowhere to go there, Neil Anderson, because Townsend was in his face as soon as he had the football. That loss of 4 puts it back on the 36. The Bears now looking at 2nd and 14. Tomczak. Nice pass completed.
Poso. Camposo just curled in underneath the zone that time. He had 3 Raiders behind him, but it was a nice timing play by the Bears, and
we'll give him 7 yards on the play, Brad, as you're watching Kevin Butler get ready for what the Bear coaching staff hopes will not be a field goal, because they'd obviously prefer to punch it into the end zone with the offensive unit. But in order to get that opportunity, they must convert this 3rd down situation. 3rd and 7 now on the Los Angeles 28-yard line.
Otis Wilson comes out. Frank Richardson in now in the nickel defense for the Raiders.
Tomczak wide open is Neil Anderson. He may score. He's forced out of bounds on the 5-yard line.
Van McElroy missed the tackle over there, but nevertheless, Anderson wound up going out of bounds. Boy, was he wide open. One of the linebackers blew that coverage.
23 yards and a big 3rd down play as the Bears have now converted on 4 of 4 3rd down opportunities. As you see, Tomczak, a blown assignment all the way as Anderson wide open before McElroy finally forces him out of bounds before he got to Mike Richardson.
And again, great pass protection by the Bear offensive line, but keep in mind they aren't going against a very good defense. In fact, this is a real makeshift defense. There's nobody in the starting lineup.
Hey, we hope you're having a hell of a time there in Las Vegas. Yeah, right.
That's Tim Weigel, folks, from Chicago.
Why don't you get this signal legally like everybody else does? That's what I did. We love Vegas.
We flew over Vegas coming in here. I wanted to get off, but
you can go over there with Charlie Braco.
We saved a lot of money flying over.
The Raiders with their backs to their goal line. Bears with a 1st and goal on the 5. The score is 0-0. This is the 14th play coming. The Bears have totally dominated the first quarter because they've had the ball for the entire way. This is Anderson. Touchdown.
Big block by Tom Thayer. In fact, the Bear defensive line just opened up the Raiders like a can.
Well, Brad, remember we were talking in that Charger game about how flat the Bear offensive line was, and we certainly can't fault the way it's in the Raiders. We know that. This is Butler. Kick is good, and the Bears are on the board first, 7-0, with 6:55 to go in the first quarter. And for the first time this afternoon, the Los Angeles Raiders will get the football.
Bears going 87 yards. There's Neil Anderson going in from the 4-yard line to give the Bears a 7-0 lead and cap a 15-play, 87-yard drive that ate up 8 minutes and 5 seconds. The Bears scoring their first possession, and the Raiders have yet to see the ball with 6:55 to go in the first quarter. Tim?
Kevin Butler's kickoff is very short indeed as Zeph Lee makes the catch and is met immediately by Glenn Kozlowski, number 88. The wide receiver, Jim McMahon's old buddy from BYU, who made a very nice tackle. But it was like shooting ducks in a barrel there, Brad. He had a beat on him all the way.
Koz was the first guy out on the field here when the Bears arrived, and the Raiderettes were out there practicing, and he says, man, this just takes the sting out of losing. They've gone 3 straight years now without making the playoffs here in Los Angeles.
There's the Raider backfield, and then the receivers. Dial, the starter at tight end, and we all know Willie Gault and Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame. Jay Schrader, the beleaguered Raider quarterback, had a rough outing against Houston. Matter of fact, he's had a rough outing since he got to Los Angeles.
Hitch to Brown and tackled by Donnell Wolford.
Let's go down to Jim Rose on the field. Jim?
Well, Tim and Brad, just before the Neil Anderson scored the Bears' first touchdown of the game, Mike Ditka pulled the team to the sidelines. He was very irate. He said to them in no uncertain terms and with a few expletive deleted, forget about the Wilson, Richardson, Gall thing. Let's show these guys we're a football team and push it in there for the touchdown. Tim, back to you.
Thanks, Jim. You know, Mike Ditka can find the darndest things to get riled about. I mean, the Bears executed beautifully on that offensive drive. I don't understand why he was aggravated, but they got into the end zone, which is the bottom line in this case. This is Schrader. And chased. Trace Armstrong was chasing him, but Schrader hits his receiver.
Schrader was looking,
Brown.
Yeah, he was looking for Brown all the way. He never looked at another receiver except Brown, and Brown went out and did a little hitch in front of Donnell Wolford.
13 yards on the play and a Raider first down.
One of the problems with Schrader, Tim, is he tends to sit on his primary receivers too long. Sometimes winds up getting sacked. He doesn't throw the ball away when he should. He's completed only 43% of his passes here in the preseason. Last year, only 44%. He's been a disappointment since they got him from the Skins for Jim Lachey, an all-pro tackle. And so far, it looks like the Skins got the best of that deal.
A lot of Raider fans want to see Steve Berline, the Notre Dame quarterback, get back in there, but right now it's Schrader's job to lose. This is number 42, Vance Bueller, with a nice run.
He ran where Trace Armstrong was. Armstrong gets a little over-aggressive. He's just a kid. This is only his second game since he signed with the Bears.
If you look at the Bear defense of Armstrong, McMichael, Hampton, and Dent up front with Fridge in reserve, Ron Rivera, Mike Singletary, Dante Jones starting on the outside. He is Mike Singletary's backup in the middle ordinarily. And there you see the secondary with Wolford, the rookie, W-O-O-L-F-O-R-D.
Well, already the Raiders have more yards than they had in the entire first half against Houston last week.
They had 37 yards rushing for the game. That is really pathetic. But right now they're moving the footballs. This is Steve Smith, who's been hurt much of the preseason, getting up very close to the first down. Hampton was involved in the stop, and as a matter of fact, Smith did get the first down, as the Raiders now have 2 in a row. And really, we must bear in mind, Brad, that as soon as Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen get back, this is an entirely different Raider offense. Marcus Allen agreeing to terms yesterday, as a matter of fact. Obviously not ready to play yet, but he will be ready for the regular season. And when the Royals stop playing baseball, Bo Jackson will return, and then you have an explosive offense.
Well, it was the same thing as that Steve Michael thing. He wanted to renegotiate. He's already got a contract. He's making $1.1 million. But he says, hey, Bo Jackson's getting 1.3, and he's not even showing up till October. So that's what made Marcus Allen mad. But Alan Davis never would talk to him, and finally he came back. He came back just yesterday, and it's not suited up.
A lot of Bear fans are enjoying the show so far in Los Angeles. It's 7 over late in the first quarter.
Well, they've moved it about 28 yards so far on this drive. They're down to the Bear 42.
Schrader dumping the ball off. A nice catch by Steve Smith. Dave Duerson brought him down. Steve Smith is a big-time running back, and the Raiders have missed him. Good, as you just saw, a very good receiver coming out of the backfield.
Well, this is the first time he's carried the ball this preseason, Tim.
He's been hurt. He picked up close to 5 on that play.
Last week against Houston, the Raiders got 17 yards in the first quarter, minus 2 yards in the second quarter.
Schrader now 3 of 3 for 21 yards, and he is already well ahead of his pace for the entire preseason.
There's show blitz and do.
Schrader going deep. This is Galt. Intercepted by Sean Gale. Great play as Willie Galt comes back to ankle tackle him. An 8-yard return and a tremendous athletic move by Sean Gale as Galt had beaten the corner and was open, but Schrader, as he's done many times this preseason, Brad, underthrew the ball, and that gave Sean Gale the opportunity to make the leaping interception.
Yeah, that's one thing I think the Bears hope to get more out from Sean Gale, and that's interceptions. The free safety should intercept more balls than one, which is what Gale had last year, but there was a great play by Gale, and he's looked good this preseason, coming back from that fractured vertebra in his neck.
It's amazing that he is playing at all, and doubly amazing that he's playing so well. That is a frightening injury But Sean Gale has completely recovered. You saw Wolford was beaten by 3 or 4 yards as Willie just blasted right by him. But Sean Gale made the interception. The Bears have the ball back with 3:33 left in the first quarter. This is Mustard. Nothing fancy, just plowing it up through the hole that was opened up by the offensive line. Golick was involved in the stop, as was Zeph Lee, number 40. Brad Muster is showing a little more every week.
The middle, he doesn't seem to be able to get that, but you give him a little running room, and he gets that head of steam. He's got some good moves, and he's tough to bring down.
He showed that in scoring that touchdown on the pass from Tomczak against Kansas City. This is Neil Anderson. He stood up. Van McElroy was in there. Jackie Shipp.
Jackie Shipp is playing an inside linebacker spot in place of Matt Millen. Millen and Howie Long, the only 2 Raiders that ever played for the team when it was in Oakland back in 1981. Millen, the leading tackler last year, but he's a veteran, and they're trying to give Jackie Shipp a look to see if he can win that spot. But Shipp got cut by the Miami Dolphins, and you know the Miami Dolphins need linebackers badly, so how good could he be? That's Otis Wilson, number 50, getting cut by Neil Anderson.
Well, you know, Otis Wilson has shown that he is recovered from that knee surgery. He's playing good football. Neil Anderson has gained 26 yards in 7 carries. And this is Neil again, as he has picked up the first down. Zeph Lee stopped him, but not before Neil got close to 4 yards. Depending on where they spot the ball. They spot it right on the 25-yard line, so we'll give Neil 3 and the Bears a first down. 1:44 remains in the first quarter.
The Bears have had the ball almost the entire quarter. They went 87 yards starting on their own 13-yard line, and now here they are again with a first down after starting on their own 13.
Well, the same thing happened to Los Angeles against Houston last week. They had the football for 1/4 the amount of time that the Oilers did, and that's simply a matter the defense isn't stopping anybody. Tomczak. He's got Dennis Gentry open. Dennis is on his way until he's dragged down by Terry McDaniel, the cornerback. 18-yard pickup, and the Bears are finding a lot of room to operate on that part of the Raiders zone.
Boy, guys are breaking wide open for the Bears. Now Gentry's the man in motion on this play, and you can see Tomczak's looking at him all the way. He's the primary receiver, and Gentry finally comes free and gets a nice big gain out of it. I don't know what's happening in that Raiders secondary, but these guys aren't covering anybody, and they aren't rushing anybody.
That's why they have a lousy defense, or at least that's what they've shown us so far.
I know. I mean, the Bears are going to come out. They aren't going to be as good as they're looking right now, I don't think. It's sort of a misnomer.
Always look on the bright side, Brad. There's Tomczak. That's complete.
Coaches will tell you, it goes back to what Ditka said when we stunk. Now, then they'll tell you, we're never as bad as we think we were or as good as we think we were.
Cap Bozo made the reception, and Terry McDaniel made the tackle. Now, I defy my
defensively as the Raiders, which is scary.
I think the encouraging thing is that there's execution. That's all Ditka's looking for, is to get ready for regular season football. And Neil Anderson may go all the way. Oh, he's just ankle tackled by number 26, Van McElroy.
Did you see the hole he had?
That was remarkable. And Anderson did a wonderful job of reading the blocks, picked up 34 yards on a tremendous burst through the right side of the Raider defense.
The Raiders are in big trouble, folks. They gave up 440 yards last week against Houston. Look at this. If it was tag football, he might have got tagged, but that's about it. Somebody got a few fingers on him, but until right there, he was barely touched.
Well, the first quarter has just ended, and it's been a Bear first quarter. They lead 7-0. It could have been worse than that, or better than that if you're a Bear fan. Second quarter action yet to come. The Bears are on the move. Yet, as the Bears are taking a long look at Trace Armstrong, I would have expected to see a lot of William Perry before this game is over, Brad, because he needs the conditioning, he needs the work. The most publicized rookie in the history of the National Football League, and now he's in the middle years of his career.
Jerry Fontenot in there at the Bears Center, I believe. No, it's Hilgenberg.
Thomas Sanders is also in, and he's in motion. And that's Muster.
It was Fontenot as the center.
Greg Townsend brought him down. Muster plodding forward for 3, maybe 4 yards. The running backs, and Dennis Gentry's in motion. There's Muster. If he gets gets enough momentum, he'll get in, and he didn't. Zeph Lee was able to knock him off. Otis Wilson and Terry McDaniel were also in on the stop as Muster gets up close to the goal line, but he does get a first down.
This is a turkey shoot, folks. I've never seen so many guys wide open as we're seeing here today by the Bears. I mean, Muster, nobody around him. Again, it looked like a zone defense. I don't know how you can play a zone down inside the 20-yard line, Tim, but those linebackers were backed up, and Muster was all alone underneath and almost put it in.
Well, the Raiders expect to answer their offensive questions when, as we mentioned, Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson come to play. But right now, there's no apparent answer on the horizon for their defensive problems. This is Neil Anderson leaping and scoring.
Second touchdown for Neil Anderson in this game.
And he's having a great game.
Looked like Walter Payton there. That gives him 62 yards on 9 carries.
I think he knocked the wind out of himself when he hit the ground. He probably expected somebody to catch him, and there was no Raider to even lay a glove on him.
Well, this is the way Payton used to do it, and Sam Bam Cunningham.
Oh, he got hit. He got hit by Benson from the side. That made it
out for him. He's in his second year. He's only 37 years old, the youngest coach in the NFL. He's out at Franklin Park in the Chicago area. Went to East Leiden. Has a lot of family still in Franklin Park. In fact, he expects his parents' home to be filled this afternoon watching this telecast. And he said, just tell him I'm glad the game's in LA and not Chicago because I don't have to come up with 158 passes.
Well, the snap is muffed. Here's Kevin Butler running for his life and giving it a pretty good effort before he's finally brought down. Obviously, the conversion is no good. Zeph Lee with the tackle. And it's 13-0 Bears with 13:29 left in the first half.
Fontenot, though, I'd have to say, probably has the edge on Addix for the backup center position for Hilgenberg, but that snap there didn't help his case too much, Tim.
Well, Jay Hilgenberg apparently has an injured tricep muscle, which is why he was not in there. 87 yards, 9 plays, and 5 minutes before Neil Anderson crossed the goal line from 1 yard out. And here's Kevin Butler's kickoff, and it'll be going to the best kickoff return man in the world, Tim Brown. Nice run. Great effort up to the 35-yard line.
Tim Brown made the Pro Bowl as a kick returner. In fact, he set a record for a rookie on return yardage last year. The guy averaged over 28 yards.
Well, he hit his average, Brad. He got 28 on that particular return and did a nice job before Festy Jackson helped bring him down.
Tim Brown scored touchdowns running the football, catching the football, and returning a kickoff. He also returned a punt for a touchdown, but it was nullified by a penalty.
William Perry is in the football game now, number 72. Just inside Richard Dent.
Yes, they're in place of Hampton. Smith.
Which is the Bears' plan. They want Hampton, McMichael, and Fridge, or William Perry, to alternate in there, and Perry helped make that stop. As Smith picked up, we'll call it about 3.
Well, we got 13:15 to go in the first half. This is the second time the Raiders have had the football in this game.
And we see Jim Morrissey in there, Brad, number 51.
He's coming off that hamstring injury.
And he has not played this entire preseason. This is an important test for Jim as you take a very intimate look at William Perry.
Well, Jim's going to make this football. They make no mistake about it.
Well, absolutely, but he needs to get in playing shape. Right. Get ready for the Bengals next week. This is Schrader. Dent chasing him. Oh, Donnell Wolford almost made the interception. The intended receiver was Tim Brown, and Wolford is doing a fine job, or at least he did on that particular play.
Tim, he really has looked good. He's impressed everybody. The only bad play he's made I've seen is he dropped an interception in his second play 2 weeks ago. But look at him, the bump and run on Tim Brown. And he's with him like glue. Look at what a great move to cut inside of Tim Brown there. Brown, of course, with 4.35 speed, didn't have a chance to utilize it there, but Wolford was on him stride for stride. Great play.
Well, after hitting his first 3 passes, Schrader has now missed on 2. One the interception, and the other that play you just saw. Tremendous disparity in total offensive yards, but that's to be expected. Schrader misfires.
Yep. The Bears had him under big pressure. They were closing the door on him when he unloaded.
Listen to the Boo Birds now. These are the people that have really been on Schrader's case as you watch Neil Anderson prowl the Bears sidelines.
Yeah, it's Neil Anderson 12.
Turning kicks, because that's obviously where the Bears would need him the most.
I think he's made the team, Tim. They've got him returning kicks and punts today, and he's been the real workhorse among the running backs.
Great punt by Gossett. Drives Green back to the 10. A couple of nice moves, and he almost breaks free. Fumbled the ball, but covered him up himself. As Timmy Ware was down, there was a 53-yard punt and a 9-yard return as the Bear offense will take over once more with the score Chicago 13, Los Angeles nothing. Down on that guy. Be ready to get off the picture immediately.
Illegal use of the hands. What do you think? Only one's using their hands.
Go to that shot, guys. That's a beauty. That's a beauty.
Yeah, what's the penalty?
Personal foul. Receiving team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
By Mark Green. Part of the attentive Los Angeles crowd here. Illegal use of lips. And they're having a wonderful time. And who's winning? Who's playing?
Always something to do here in Los Angeles.
Well, there is in Chicago too. I wouldn't trade spots for all of Leona Helmsley's money. Or Marcus Allen's for that matter.
Well, I agree with that. Chicago's a great sports town. A little different back here. A little more laid back, that's for sure.
Boy, well, if I were a Raider fan, I'd be laid back too right now. The Bears are laid back, Brad. They're on their own 6, and they started on the 13 with the first possession and took it down the field. Let's see what happens here. Bears' first 3 drives, as a matter of fact, Brad, the 13, the 13, and now their own 6. So they've gone a long way to get to score. This is Thomas Sanders up over the 10. Brought down by Bob Golick, who's been very busy on the nose tackle for the Raiders.
Mike Tomczak has completed 7 passes thus far to 6 different receivers. Talk about spreading the ball around. He's hit the tight end 3 times, the running backs twice, and the wide receivers twice. Balanced attack by the Bears.
Well, Brad, that's something that Ditka and Greg Landry have always sought, is to spread the receptions around. Dennis McKinnon, the leading receiver last year with, I believe it was 45 receptions, which is not a lot, but
just possession type football.
Yeah, everybody gets in on the action. It's Bozo in motion. Tomczak with the play fake. Wide open. Nice reception by number 82, Wendell Davis. Lionel Washington made the stop, a pickup of 13, and another Bear first down.
Well, now you know why Tom Benson got let go by New England. Was he ever playing him soft? Watch number 54 now. That's his responsibility. And where is he? Come out of the screen, Tom. There you are. Well, it's too late.
Well, they've got Benson and Matt Millen is now in there. Jackie Shipp. These guys have all been other places and have failed. Shipp apparently shaken up on that play.
How do you build a team out of other people's rejects?
Well, Jerry Robinson was with the Eagles. You just saw him, number 57, and he's hurt, and he's missed a lot of playing time. It's easy to see why the Raiders were more than willing to take a chance on Otis Wilson, and right now that appears to have paid off because Otis is apparently healthy and playing pretty well. This is Sanders. He must hold on to the football. He's fumbled repeatedly during the preseason. Matt Millen gets a big hand from this Los Angeles crowd as he makes that tackle.
Millen making the Pro Bowl last year for the first time in what was his 9th season with the Raiders. He was their leading tackler.
Imagine that. He's the leading tackler from '88. He's a Pro Bowler in '88. The Raiders are desperate for linebacking help, and he's in danger of being cut. It's an interesting situation.
Brad Muster in there on the blocking. He missed it though.
Brad is becoming a much better blocker, and that's one of the reasons why he's become more effective in the Bears' offensive scheme. There's some action on the defensive front, but I did not see a flag. Yes, I did. You see Steve McMichael taking some oxygen. It's very hot, needless to say, on the floor of the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. 32-yard line. Tomczak with a sparkling first half as the Bear quarterback. Sanders, first down and more.
Following his blockers nicely.
Now, what would be Brad, what would be a Bear sequence without Cap Boso getting into a scuffle? I mean, really, the guy's he's looking for Mike Tyson.
With Otis. He was in there with Otis.
I have never seen anybody get into more face masking grapples than Cap Boso. He's really got a nose for it.
That's right, and it can be a teammate. Doesn't have to be an opponent. Watch, there's Wilson, 50. Let's see Cap now come into it. Here's Cap, and look at this. Nothing. Oh, 54 just threw one in there. That's Koch.
No, that's Benson. That's the first lick Benson's had today.
Our man Tom Benson. But look at that. Nothing really happened to warrant a punch.
That's the way Cap Boso likes to play.
And the Raiders.
Tomzak wide open as Mustard.
Maybe
Dragged down by Matt Millen.
Maybe Cap was getting back at him for something that happened earlier. We watched that Houston Raider game in the hotel yesterday, Tim, and there were scuffles throughout that game.
Well, it's possible Cap could remember a timely and impressive tune-up for Mike Tomzak as he gets ready for the Bengal game next week. This is Sanders with all the room in the world right through the middle of the Raider defense for a first down. Zeph Lee, the safety, came up to meet him, as did Van McElroy, the other safety. And the Bears are running and throwing at will right now against this once proud Raider defense.
It's going to be a pleasure to fill out the report card when this first half is over.
Professor Palmer getting ready to pass out some high grades to the Bear offense, which has now had Matt Suey join it.
I'm a tough grader too, but they're going to be high. They got to be, right?
Yes, you are a tough grader. As you look closely at Thomas Sanders' team with Matt Suey in the Bear backfield.
Matt's going to make it, Tim.
I hope so. He didn't make much there. He was stopped for a 1-yard loss by Greg Townsend, who penetrates very well. Benson got in on that play as well.
No, I think Matt's going to make it. He wasn't locked in stone, but I haven't seen the other two beat him out. Curtis Stewart's been hurt. Brian Barrow. Neither one's really beat him out. And I think they're going to keep Matt this year. It'll be his last season with the Bears. And he also helps Brad Muster. You know, Muster's still learning, and Matt's going to be there to teach him.
Matt's the kind of player who helps everybody. He's a very positive influence on any football team. 2nd and 12. They give him a 2-yard loss on that carry. Tomzak throwing for McKinnon.
Oh,
great catch. Great catch. Dennis McKinnon simply outfought Terry McDaniel for the football, got tremendous position on him, 24-yard completion, and there is graphic evidence of why Dennis McKinnon has become one of the better receivers in the National Football League, Brad.
Tim, he hardly dropped the ball all camp. I saw him drop one. Look at that. And the ball was really thrown behind him, as he well reminded me. It was Brent Snyder threw one to him that McKinnon got a hand on. That was the closest thing to a drop I've seen from McKinnon all season. What a great catch that was.
Here's Mike Shanahan, who was an offensive wizard, was the offensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos. But his biggest problems here in Los Angeles are on the other side of the football. He's getting a defense in shape. Right now, Matt Suey is wide open, slips a couple of tackles, and squirts up very close to the first down. Zeph Lee and Otis Wilson were involved.
Well, Shanahan's got a problem upstairs, too, with Al Davis looking over his shoulder, because Davis let 5 of Shanahan's assistants go after last season.
Gable said, frankly, my dear, I don't really care. That's Al's problem. Right now, this is Matt Suey breaking free. Nice run. Picks up the first down and more. Van McElroy finally dragged him down. Matt Suey shows a nice change of direction.
First down, Bears.
As the clock winds down, 4 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the half.
67 there, Jerry Fontenot getting a lot of work today at center and looking good, except for that one bad snap on the extra point. Fontenot, the 3rd-round draft pick out of Texas A&M, and I think he's going to make this football team. 6'3", 272. That puts John Eddix very much on the bubble. Just like John, good chance he could be the odd man out. Especially since they're playing Fontenot so extensively today.
Sanders cutting inside. Can't make the break for the flag as he's dragged down by Terry McDaniel.
Nice move there by McDaniel, coming in as the cornerback and enforcing the run. McDaniel's been hurt. You know, he was a first-round draft pick a year ago, but broke his fibula in the second game and didn't come back until now. He replaced Mike Richardson in the starting spot in this game today.
In all honesty, Mike Richardson had a terrible game against the Houston Oilers, and that was the main reason he has been demoted. The Raiders are desperately searching for the combination that will strengthen this defense. Here's Tomczak pumping one way, throwing the other. Touchdown, great move by Wendell Davis.
Pass interference is going to be called against Lionel Washington, who was all over Davis. Davis fought him off and still made the catch. Just a great play. In fact, Tomczak with the pump fake. He pumped right, he passed left, and Lionel Washington took his eye completely off the ball. Look at that. He faked out our cameraman momentarily. But Lionel Washington gets turned around. Davis knows the ball's there and fights off the pass interference and makes the catch. Great play on both ends.
Well, as we know, Wendell Davis was hurt a little bit during his rookie season, and he was perhaps slowed a little bit in his development, but he showed there that he's enjoying a 19-0 Bear advantage. And the Bear offense has been devastating. This time the snap is good, and so is the conversion as the advantage goes to 20-0. The Bears are on a roll here in Tinseltown.
On all cylinders. I don't care if they are playing the LA Raiders, who are 19th in defense and don't have Howie Long in there, or Scott Davis, but the Bears are doing what they have to do.
Well, the Raiders have lost all their preseason games, but they were very tough against Houston as this kickoff goes out of bounds.
I mean, the Bears could be laying an egg against the Raiders, right?
The Raiders had not shown that they were this feeble until this particular outing here on Saturday. And the Houston Oilers are a respectable football team, and the Raiders played them tough in the supercharged emotional atmosphere of Oakland. Now, it's a little different here in La La Land because there are 30-some thousand fans watching, and doesn't seem to be a great deal of intensity in the Silver and Black Brigade.
Well, there's a lot of competition. We know that. Yeah, I don't know about the intensity, but the odds of going 87 yards in any drive or something, the Bears have done it 3 times in a row.
Raiders have had the ball just a little over 4 minutes in the first half. That's really pitiful.
And they had 17 minutes the entire game last week.
Nice fake by Schrader. Ball stolen, but covered up by the Los Angeles offensive lineman Rory Graves. Richard Dent, who does that for a career. As Schrader cocked his arm, Dent stripped him. And that'll go down as the first sack of the game by the Bears front line.
Schrader has a tendency, Tim, to stand back there too long.
Made a nice fake, but it didn't fool Richard Dent as he popped the ball right out of his hands. Just couldn't find it.
Great play by Richard.
Who might be in his last season as a Bear.
You don't think the Bears can afford him?
Well, I think they can afford him. I think it's up to the front office to decide if they want to pay his price, but that's a year away. We don't have to worry about that just yet. Schrader has to worry about completing this bomb, and he's got Willie Gault wide open. Willie Gault runs under it, makes the catch, and will score. 78 yards, and just like that, Los Angeles is on the board as Willie Gault burned Donnell Wolford by 6-7 yards. Well, we've seen him do that for years and years, Brad. He may not do everything right, but he certainly does that as well as anybody in the business.
That's what he does best. He's good on the hitch, and he's good on the fly pattern. Doesn't run the greatest routes, but he's got the speed to burn. He's 4.4 speed. Al Davis, when he got Willie from the Bears, figured that if he can get Willie to streak like that 5 times a game, they're going to score twice. Well, he's 1 for 1 in that category today, and that time he must have gotten Wolford to bite on an early move, because he really blew away from Wolford, who has pretty good speed himself.
Now, even on that particular play, Schrader underthrew the ball just a bit, but Gault had beaten Wolford so badly that even slowing down to make the catch did not allow Donnell enough time to catch Willie Gault. And so it's now 20-6. And Willie Gault has gotten a measure of revenge against his old Bear teammates and former coach Mike Ditka. The conversion is good by Jeff Yeager. It's 20-7. There are 2 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half here in Los Angeles.
On the extra point, and They haven't been running the ball back especially well either.
Dennis Gentry on the bottom of the screen, Mark Green on the top. They'll return the kickoff by Jeff Jaeger. Raiders place kicker. He kicks it short up around the 11. This will be Gentry. Tries to get outside and cannot.
Nope. Boy, I'll tell you, they've stopped the Bears kick returns twice now cold.
Looked like Stephon Adams and Trey Junkin were involved in making that tackle. As you look at Steve Strahan, the veteran running back from Boston College, leaving the field, a fine special teams player.
That's right, folks. You pronounce it Strahan. Now
This, by the way, Brad, will be the Bears' best starting field position of the game, as they're on their own 16-yard line. But really, it seems to not matter where they start from, because they always finish up in the Los Angeles end zone. Tomzak from shotgun. Once again, a receiver wide open, but this one is thrown short, as McKinnon could not make the stop. Zeph Lee was on the coverage. Second and 10, and it's complete.
He threw it the only place he could complete it to Muster without getting it picked off. Muster, nice shoot-out grab. Muster's a good receiver for a running back, as is Matsui too.
As we've reached the 2-minute warning here, and the Bears are still enjoying a 20-7 advantage. Does a pretty good job on the playing floor too. He's watching the Raiders and perhaps not enjoying what he's seen so far. Bears now with 3rd and about 5. Tomzak pumps once. Gentry's open, but this ball is a little bit too far for Dennis to run under.
Yeah, he had Zeph Lee beaten on the play, but Tomzak overthrew him.
Dennis Gentry ran a very nice pattern and had broken free, and you have to really crank it out in the play. Tim Brown is back to receive this punt from Maury Buford, who has apparently won the Bear job since he's the only punter on the team right now. This one, though, not much hang time, and Brown with a lot of room to run. And when he gets room like that, he is extremely difficult to bring down. As Scrap Iron Stewart made the tackle, a 37-yard punt, a 19-yard return. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the finest kick returner in football right now.
Led this team last year, Tim, with 43 catches, averaging 17 yards a catch.
Well, Brad, the Raiders are on the Bear 40. There are 1 minute and 42 seconds to play, and so Los Angeles could make this interesting if they can get on the board quickly. Schrader looking for the screen. It sets up, but he has to throw it away, as Vance Mueller was pretty well covered by a host of Bear defenders, including number 94 Dick Chapura, and number 49 David Tate, the strong safety, was also over there in coverage. Now he's in shotgun, and the Raiders are with a 2nd and 10 situation.
3 wideouts and Galt not among them.
He's got all day, and he hits Mervin Fernandez, who makes a great move after making the catch. And Donnell Wolford's a little bewildered over there. 22-yard pickup and another Raider first down with 1:20 to go in the half. Los Angeles in excellent field position. Fernandez, one of the more dangerous wide receivers for the Raiders, working on Donnell Wolford.
A little hitch and pretty tough to stop. Wolford eased off there. Incompleted pass by the Raiders, going to bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Lemuel Stimson was involved in that stop. And Mervin Fernandez, as I was about to say, was hurt for a lot of the preseason, and now he appears to be approaching full speed again.
Looks like Wolford might be getting a little over-aggressive, Tim.
As you see, the Raiders not very effective on first down in this first half. 2nd and 10 is the situation. Now they're inside the 20. Schrader on the handoff. Nothing doing. Steve Smith got the handoff, and David Tate got the tackle. The fans are booing as we're inside of 55 seconds now. The Raiders have some timeouts to burn if they so choose, but they don't at this particular point.
Blitz.
Schrader Bears got his man. First down.
It's Wolford again.
Timmy Ware made the catch. Wolford made the tackle, and the clock has been stopped as Los Angeles is now inside the Chicago 5. And Brad, what looked like a waltz is now turning into a little bit of rock and roll.
Well, they're making Wolford pay his dues here a little bit, aren't they?
Well, they certainly are. He's a great rookie, but a rookie cornerback is going to have his trouble in the National Football game instead of a comfortable advantage. Fakes the pitch, under pressure, throws the ball away.
Hampton and Rivera put a lot of pressure on him. He probably unloaded it faster than he wanted to.
Mike Alexander was one receiver in the area, and Mike Dial, the tight end, was also there, but there was no chance of a completion, and now it's 2nd and 5 for the touchdown, or 2nd and 4, I should say, and 29 seconds left in the half. Well, the Bear defense obviously very intent on giving up no more than a field goal in this situation. Keep that advantage comfortable at halftime. Wide open. Touchdown, Los Angeles, number 84, Mike Dial.
Hitting Dante Jones, and Rivera also over there helping out in the play.
Well, well, well. As we were up here chortling about the Bears cakewalk, the Raiders have thrown some alum into the recipe.
Well, there you see it right there, Tim. Dante Jones had him all the way and was slow to react. Dial, a good tight end, at least they're high on him. He's in his first year out of Texas A&I, and they think he's going to wind up being the starter now that Todd Christensen's gone. He was wide open as the Bear receivers have been in the early going.
Well, Dante Jones is an inside linebacker by trade. He's Mike Singletary's backup, and he's been forced to place him outside backer. That conversion is obviously good, and it's now 20-14 with 25 seconds left in the first half, and the Los Angeles Raiders have awakened.
Real well up until the second quarter.
Mike Ditka composing his halftime speech. And I have a feeling that might be kind of interesting. Jay Schrader now feeling pumped up because he's been able to get his team into the end zone in the last 2 possessions. And Mike Shanahan, the coach, now feeling a good deal better than he felt as recently as 5 or 6 minutes ago.
Yeah, now that extra point, of course, it's I know it's only a preseason game and we're only in the first half, but the extra point now looms where it didn't loom before because the Bears with a 6-point lead instead of a 7-point lead. And if this was a regular season game, they wouldn't be too happy about it. Gentry and Green back to receive the kickoff. So the Bears scored the first 3 times they had the football. Now the Raiders have scored the last 2 times they have had it after stinking out the place in the first half, or in the first quarter. Oh, it was the Raiders or the smog that I was smelling.
Oh, it's your cigar smoke, Brett. Jeff Jager with a very high kickoff. It's going to be very hard for Green to get a good return here. But he almost broke through the seam.
That's the first time today the Bears have run a kickoff outside of their own 20-yard line. Or no, they didn't. They didn't get it to their 20. They're to the 17.
The 14 advantage on the scoreboard, at least to this point. Bears choosing to run out the clock for this first half as Matt Suhey chugs it up through the middle of the Raider defense. And we will go to intermission with the Bears leading at 20-14. And Brad, some interesting things still to come for this second half and for halftime. Jim Rose down on the Coliseum field. Jim?
Well, Tim, if the Los Angeles Raiders had a pretty good final moments in that second quarter, however, the Chicago Bears seem to have won the war of the words. Otis Wilson with 1 tackle and 2 assists. Mike Richardson hasn't been heard from despite playing sporadically, and Willie Gault a 78-yard touchdown bomb. You know, controversy seems to be the Chicago Bears' middle name, whether it's on the field with their hard-driving image or off the field with
for some players, even more interesting because it might be the last half of football they play in the National Football League.
And now's the time to really take note on who doesn't get into this game. Last week, of the players who didn't play, all of them got cut. with the exception of Brent Snyder, the quarterback, and I think he is going to be eventually cut. I think the Bears would like to bring him back, though, on that 6-man developmental squad.
Well, you do need 3 quarterbacks around. If one goes down,
they will have one back. I think they like to get Snyder back if he can clear waivers.
Butler's kickoff is not a long one as Tim Brown takes it just inside the 10. And he cannot get outside as Steve Heitch helps make him. No, I'm sorry, Glenn Kozlowski, 88, not 98, makes the tackle. The first downs, first half stats are widely disparate. The Bears dominating, but the scoreboard is a little closer than the numbers there.
Yeah, the Raiders closed it up a bit there in the second quarter. Remember, they had 4 minutes of possession time there for a while, early up to about 6:47.
But when you score from 78 yards out, you don't have to hold on to the football for a long time. Raiders going with some rookie running backs now, or some inexperienced young running backs. Kerry Porter is in there, and so is Derek Gaynor. This is Gaynor.
Well, Gaynor is their leading ball carrier in the preseason, but he only had 45 yards and 15 carries coming in here because their running game has been almost non-existent in the preseason, Tim. In fact, you threw out the scrambles by the quarterbacks, and they've had 125 yards running the football in 3 games. I mean, that's, they have 125 and 1.
Gaynor with a no gainer. 2nd and 10 now. The Raiders still have the football on their own 23-yard line. There goes Schrader. No good. This one complete almost to John Addix.
Now there he was again. Schrader was locked on one receiver. The guy never came open. And for a change, Schrader threw the ball out of bounds. But he never came off that initial receiver. He's been around long enough to be able to read defenses better than that, but that's been his knock. Here's Wolford with great coverage on Alexander. Alexander leading the catcher in the preseason for the Raiders with 9 catches. He's a first-year player out of Penn State, an 8th-round draft pick. He looked good against Houston.
We've just learned, Brad, that Jackie Shipp, one of the Raider linebackers, broke a bone in his left hand, so he's finished.
Sorry to hear that. I guess we've seen a lot of Matt Miller there.
Oh, but he will play. I'm told he will play despite that broken bone. My goodness. There's a flag down on this one.
Nice coverage there by 43. That's Lorenzo Lynch. And with Mo Douglas having been suspended for steroids, Lorenzo Lynch, I think, a lock to make this football team, and a good special teams player to boot.
Well, let's see what the penalty is.
Defense, number 95, illegal use of hands, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So the Raiders get a free one.
Well, we haven't seen many penalties on the part of the Bears. Let me see what they had here in the first half. It's only their 2nd penalty, the personal foul, and now the defensive hold.
This one sets the Raiders up. Who does? Richard?
Yeah, see him slap his head there. he knows he made a mistake.
1st and 10 Los Angeles now on their own 28. Just a minute's gone in the 2nd half.
Too much time, Tim.
Well, I think Rory Graves got an early jump on getting after Richard Dent, and he gives the 5 yards back, but they won't give back that 1st down.
You're right. It's hard to see the clock here. You have to lean out the booth to see the clock.
All right, now it's 1st and 15. As the Raiders are on their own 23. Receivers open right in the middle of the Bear defense, right in the seam between the linebackers.
Yeah, that was
Dial with the catch.
And Dante Jones and Mike Singletary, the linebackers, on the coverage, and that time Schrader was able to split them both and make the completion.
Picking up 12, giving Los Angeles a 2nd and 3 now.
Bears in a zone defense, and he just split the zone there.
Those are really the 2 Bear middle linebackers, but as we've been saying, Dante Jones is playing outside.
Do this anymore?
This is the handoff to number 49, Derek Gaynor. And Hampton helped make the stop as Danimal's back in the action.
I was talking with Vince Evans before the game. I haven't seen Vince in a while. He's their third-string quarterback, but hasn't played in the preseason. He says, boy, I was reading where Hampton's had 8 knee operations. So I just can't believe that. It is remarkable, isn't it?
If you know Dan Hampton, you can believe it. As an extraordinary threshold for pain and discomfort, as the Raiders are now looking at an uncomfortable 3rd and 2 situation with Bear fans looking on. Schrader will throw. Complete. Oh, and dropped. Oh. Mike Dial, the tight end, dropped it. Singletary was chasing him, but Dial obviously had plenty of room to make the catch and would have had a very big gain. Instead, Los Angeles will kick the ball away to Mark Green.
I was just talking about how they like Dial a lot. He's probably going to be their first-team tight end, and he drops an easy one like that. Thanks a lot.
Well, I'm sure the Bear fans are thanking him.
But they are hurting at that tight end position. That's one reason, Tim, why they weren't able to pass effectively last year despite all their burners on the wideouts, because they didn't have a good tight end to keep them honest. Well, there's a penalty.
Mark Green was never given a chance to catch that punt. Timmy Ware was down there. A 39-yard punt and a penalty. Trey Junkin, number 87, also in on the hit.
How often do you see the Raiders come up with that type of a play?
Well, that's a costly penalty.
It seems when those type of plays are made, it's usually the Raiders making them. Watch this.
Wow.
Interference. Kicking team. 15 yards. First down.
Number 15, Timmy Ware, who was all over Mark Green. And the Bears will now bring out Jim Harbaugh to start this second half. There are 12 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Chicago leads it 20-14.
Tim, the only regulars out there for the Bear offense now are the wide receivers and the tight end Thornton. Other than that, it's mostly second team, and a lot of rookies in the line now.
Mark Green and Scrap Iron Stewart are the running backs behind Jim Harbaugh. And this is Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron fighting for his professional survival as he plunges forward for about 4 yards. He was, as we've said before, was Bo Jackson's spear carrier at Auburn. Hardly played at all down there, but he's a tough, eager young player, good blocker, and he's been nicked. He's been hurt the last couple of preseason games, which have drastically hurt his chances to make this squad.
Strained knees, running behind a line now, left to right, that has rookie Chris Dyko, veteran Kurt Becker, Jerry Fontenot still in there at center, John Wojciechowski at right guard, and Dave Zawatson, the right tackle, the 2nd-round draft pick out of Cal.
This is Harbaugh under pressure, steps up in the pocket, gets away, running for the first down stick, and just came up a little bit short, I believe, as Zeph Lee gave him a little extra shot in front of the Gatorade barrel.
About a yard short. Oh, look where they're going to mark it. They didn't get the first down.
It looked like he came up a little short of the stick, but the official on the scene, obviously with a better view, Jim might have put his foot up a little forward, and he did, and it's a first down for Chicago. As you take another look, Jim just running in front of David Caldwell, and then Zeph Lee giving him the shove.
So he gets the first down, and the Bears are back in Raider territory at the 49.
As we well know, Brad, that's one thing Jim Harbaugh does extremely well. He runs.
As does Jay Schrader for the Raiders. You just hope they don't have to run too much.
1st and 10 Chicago now on the Los Angeles 49. This is Mark Green. Nice run.
Yeah, nice blocking.
The 2nd offensive line opening up some holes. Eddie Anderson made the stop on Mark Green. As you look at Harbaugh's 88.
They're trying to come from behind, a real last-ditch effort. They didn't have much chance to go all the way. But
Harbaugh picked up 6. Or I'm sorry, Green did, and now Green gets up over the first down mark, but there's a flag on the play, and this one will apparently come back.
Yeah, Emmanuel King jumped too soon. He was playing he's the linebacker, and he was the line of scrimmage nearest the lower part of your screen, and he jumped too soon. So the Bears will accept the penalty, take 5 yards and a first down.
Yeah. Defense, number 92.
Emmanuel
Offside,
King was cut by the
5-yard
Cincinnati.
penalty, first down.
Emmanuel King was cut by the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a Plan B player picked up by the Raiders, and there you can see he jumped too soon.
Well, the Bears apparently accepted the penalty and those 5 yards, and now it's on the Los Angeles 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Inside handoff to Stewart, has some room. Nice run. Strong run by Scrap Iron.
Oh, again, big, nice blocking by the Bears to give Scrappy that big hole. John Wojciechowski, the pulling right guy, took his man to the outside, and Scrap Iron Stewart cut the ball inside. Bears like him a lot, but I thought he had a good chance to make the football team, but I don't think anybody's beating out Matt Suhey. I think Matt's going to be around for one more year, and if they're going to carry 5 backs, I'd have to say it's going to be Mark Green.
2nd and 5 now as Bill Pickel made the stop, and Mike Ditka had some words of wisdom for Curtis Stewart. Mark Green. 1 or 2 tough yards inside the Raider defense.
James Coley in there now at the tight end position.
Otis Wilson on the tackle.
Later on.
Otis Wilson leaves the game. Runs out just before this snap from shotgun by Jim Harbaugh. Raiders on a blitz. Harbaugh lays it up. Oh, what a catch. Mr. Wendell Davis have a football game. 2 great catches in that same part of the end zone for the second-year pro.
And that was Mike
LSU.
Haynes.
Tremendous job as he beat the veteran Mike Haynes, who is in real trouble of making this football team. The Raider team, that is. What a great catch by Wendell Davis, who's really sparkling here in Hollywood.
2 great catches. We saw that 11-yarder when he got interfered with by Lionel Washington. And now here he is, Mike Haynes all over him. Haynes with 46 career receptions, but the ball was perfectly thrown, and Davis made a nice over-the-shoulder catch for his 2nd TD.
Jim Harbaugh with a big completion for his preseason numbers. The conversion is good. The Bears have padded their advantage to 27-14 with 8:52 to play in the 3rd quarter here in Los Angeles.
And he's in his 2nd year now. He's a #1 pick out of SMU. Only caught 15 balls last year, but we've seen him make a couple of great efforts today to score touchdowns.
This kickoff by Butler back to the goal line, being returned by Stephen Adams and being returned for a long way. Brian Barrow finally forced him out of bounds, but Brad, as you were saying, that's a 36-yard return for Stephon Adams, and the Bears special teams leaving a lot to be desired here in this particular game, but not the Bear offense. 59 yards in 6 plays. The big one, the 32-yard completion from Harbaugh to Wendell Davis.
Yeah, I was talking with Steve Kaiser. He's a special teams coach about the special teams, and he's kind of bemoaning the fact that he can't have more linebackers out there on the special teams coverages.
Well, that will certainly be an area of concern heading into the first game next week. This is Jay Schrader, who's going all the way for the Raiders. Quick out to Mike Alexander. He's wrapped up by Vesti Jackson on the outside.
Little hitch pattern.
There you see number 9, Jim McMahon, one of those Bear fans. And speaking of number 9,
he'll be here, won't he?
Well, he completed 9 of 17 last night for 144 yards, and he came in after Billy Joe Tolliver was hurt and completed a 4-yard pass to Quinn Early with time running out as San Diego beat the Phoenix Cardinals 21-20. And Mr. McMahon is working the magic down in San Diego.
And he will open the season here next Sunday.
2nd and 4 now for the Raiders.
Inside
William Perry wrapping up Kerry Porter, but not before Porter got an apparent first down. However, a flag has been thrown. As a matter of fact, several flags have been thrown.
Face mask, the initial indication.
3 catches for 56 yards for that man, number 82, Wendell Davis. The finest day he's enjoyed as a professional. And the call is against the Bears.
Oh, it's a big one.
Yes,
flagrant.
it is.
Oh, let's see if we can pick it out. There it is right there, the fridge. Oh, no,
pretty easy to pick that one out. William got a real handful there.
Oh.
was no question about that one.
No. Third penalty against the Bears.
Which moves Los Angeles inside the Bear 40-yard line. William Perry trying to get into playing shape.
Bears are still pretty much their first unit defensively. Perry for Hampton, the only change.
Schrader going long. Willie Gault. Alexander, I beg your pardon, Mike Alexander. And once again, Donnell Wolford is being picked on. All the way down to the 1-yard line. 38 yards. Poor Donnell Wolford, a great talent, a terrific one-on-one coverage man, but he is really suffering here in Los Angeles.
Well, I suppose Mike Richardson is getting a little enjoyment out of this with this game going back to Chicago. They're probably saying, well, they think he can take my job, but maybe if we work on him enough, we'll show the Chicago fans that Mike Richardson wasn't so bad. But I think a change was in order, and I still like Donnell Wolford. He's had a tough afternoon here. He's after looking good in the early going.
Well, he's working against some great receivers, although Mike Alexander has yet to earn his spurs. He's a first-year player from Penn State. Flags fly, and perhaps the Raiders have been guilty of delay. Let's listen.
Wolford's going to intercept the ball. You watch.
Oh, there's no question in my mind. He is clearly a #1 round draft choice.
They're going to go to the well once too often today, though, and he's going to pick it off. And I hope he goes all the way with it.
But as we've said this twice today already, it's playing cornerback is the toughest position in the National Football League, and you compound that difficulty if you're a rookie.
The great ones all have that tough period of adjustment.
You saw Mike Haynes. Now he's a little long of tooth, and he's been around for 14 years, but Wendell Davis just beat him. And I defy you to find a cornerback with a better record than Mike Haynes. Big hitter. Dent. Oh, he dropped the football. Number 31, Kerry Porter, had a touchdown, but he couldn't make the catch.
Richard Dent put great pressure on. Nice rush by Richard, and Morrissey broke down in the coverage there, and he's just lucky that Porter dropped the ball. Here's Richard. Look him snuff him out. Oh, an off-balance throw by Schrader, and right there, well, Morrissey gave it his best. He just couldn't quite reach it, but he was mad at himself that he didn't get over there in time. What a great performance by Schrader there under pressure. I'm surprised he was able to get that much on the ball.
Second and goal from the 6 now for Los Angeles. The Bear corners working alone, but this is number 49, Derek Gainer, running for the flag. His knee hit, I believe, just before he got in.
Touchdown.
Oh, they're going to give it to him.
Well, Jim Rivera.
The ball crossed the plane as his knee was touching, but he got in the end zone, and this is a very interesting game indeed now, as the Raiders once more threaten to close the gap to 6 points. Take another look on the replay.
Yeah, see, Jim Rivera got pushed out of there, and oh man, Mike got caught a little flat-footed. Singletary, and Sean Gale gets there too late, and there's no doubt about it.
Just got it over.
Yep.
And a real fine block. I believe that was Mervyn Fernandez screening out Donnell Wolford, the cornerback, preventing him from making the tackle.
Tim, the difference in this game is still looming to be that missed extra point by the Bears, because they're going to pull within 6 here.
Well, Brad, it's those little glitches that make this the fascinating American pageant that it is. Professional football.
It's a way of life.
They may be, the replay has turned it around.
We've got a reversal. Ball is placed on the 1-yard line. Third down.
That's the correct call, folks.
Well, it's always nice when the replay official vindicates your call.
Initially, I thought it was a touchdown, but I wasn't watching the knee. I was watching the ball.
Let's see the block here on Wolford. It looks like number 86, Fernandez.
Yeah, he's down. So Gale saved a touchdown, at least for the time being. Third and goal.
Style in motion. He's up close.
They say he got it.
Kerry Porter with the touchdown. And so Los Angeles gets their touchdown, but a few minutes later. And now the extra point will turn this into a 6-point game. It's Kerry Porter, the second-year running back out of Washington State, who's been around the NFL and also has even had his black stripe marred on top of his silver helmet as he plows into the middle of the Bear defense with a nice spin move as Richard Dent and Ron Rivera are wrestling with him.
He just barely did make it, but he made it.
Raider running backs will take on a totally different look a few weeks from now, as we've repeatedly alluded to. And this extra point is good. It's 27-21, 7 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third period, as the Los Angeles Raiders continue to put some hot breath down the Bears' neck. Scored very often in the middle stages of this football game and made it close indeed.
Tim, they've scored 3 of their last 4 possessions against the Bears' regular unit.
That's disquieting. What you're watching right now isn't particularly disquieting. Mark Green and Brian Taylor go after this kickoff.
Green.
Nice move, but he's arm tackled by Mike Richardson, number 27.
Short kickoff that time, and first time the Bears have gotten the ball beyond their 16-yard line. Well, the Raiders going 64 yards on 6 plays. Kerry Porter with the 1-yard run. And the Raiders, as I say, have scored 3 of their last 4 possessions, and they're only 6 down. The difference, well, the difference is 6 points, but should be 7. The Bears having botched an extra point earlier.
Mike Shanahan obviously very relieved that his team has come back against Mike Ditka's Bears. Jim Harbaugh now with his second series. It's a throw. Green. Mark Green getting up close to the first down. Matt Millen, the veteran, ankle tackled him.
Well, that time Harbaugh took what they gave him. He wasn't trying to force anything. Everybody was covered downfield, and Mark Green just slipped out of the backfield underneath the zone under the linebackers, was all by himself, and took a little 5-6 yard gain. But you do that enough, you move the ball right down the field.
Giving him 6, so it's 2nd and 4 on the Bear 37-yard line, as Green and Curtis Stewart are getting the work here in the third quarter as the Bears running backs. This is Stewart up very close to the first down across the 40-yard line. David Caldwell and number 71 Bill Pickell were there along with Otis Wilson.
Well, let's see how this young offensive line the Bears are using does. Look at Wojciechowski come off and push his man right off the line of scrimmage.
That's Pickell.
They like Wojo a lot. Boy, Wojo really barreled through there, and that's 74 Zawatson helping out, but Wojo made the contact at the point of attack.
Lost the football and perhaps his job.
Raiders have it.
Now, the one thing Mike Ditka will not tolerate are fumbles, and in that particular situation, Curtis Stewart has coughed the football up. Eddie Anderson is holding it aloft, apparently recovering for the Raiders. The first Bear turnover, and now the Los Angeles Raiders, with 5:34 to play here in the third quarter, are in an excellent position to perhaps take the lead. There you see Stewart losing the ball as Otis Wilson, number 50, helps strip him. Otis went after the football. It pops loose, and it looks like Eddie Anderson gets it.
First Bear turnover today.
Tough break for Curtis Stewart. Ball on the Bear 34 now, 34-yard line. The Raiders 1st and 10. It's a draw play. Derek Gaynor getting a lot of action. William Perry involved in the stop, as Jay Schrader has gone all the way for Los Angeles, and he's enjoyed great success, as we've mentioned, the last couple of times that he's had the football.
Well, this is a regular season game. This would really be cause for concern, this last turnover.
2nd and 4 for the Raiders on the Bear 28.
Bears made a lot of changes now in the secondary.
Number 31, Kerry Porter, who scored the last touchdown gets the first down as John Shannon was down involved in the tackle.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of people now, Tim. We got Stinson and Lynch at the cornerbacks, and Sean Smith is now in there as the left defensive end, and you got Shannon as the right defensive end.
As you look at the Raider possessions, and they've had excellent field position, Brad, every time they've taken over the football, and 3 times that's resulted in Los Angeles touchdowns. And as you also see, none of these drives have been particularly long in duration. 6, 3, 2, 7, 5, and 6 plays in all. And if the Raiders are successful here, this will obviously not be a long drive either after that Stewart fumble. Wide open, Mike Alexander. He is neck tackled by number 49, David Tate, who was a fine young defensive football player for the Bears.
Tate and Mark Paul are in there as the safeties now.
Tate with 4 interceptions last season to rank second to Vesty Jackson, with obviously less playing time than Vesty enjoyed, as he missed the face mask, but he certainly got a lot of neck.
David Tate has a nose for the football. Had 4 interceptions last year as a rookie.
This is Kerry Porter, forced out of bounds. Troy Johnson, number 92, was there. So was number 43, Lorenzo Lynch. As Porter will get maybe 2 on the play.
So we're looking at a wholesale changes now in the Bear defense. The only thing close to a regular in there, and he's not a regular anymore, is the Fridge. And let's see, Dante Jones, they're leaving him in there. Now, he did start the game. They're leaving him in there as well. But you got John Roper into the game as a left side linebacker.
But Dante has moved into the middle, apparently, to take over for Singletary. Now the Raiders are 3rd down and about 4 on the Bears' 17-yard line.
Bears showing blitz and do.
Raider hits it off, completes it, 1st down. Kerry Porter, wrapped up by Troy Johnson.
The Bears tipped the blitz off a little bit early, and Schrader read it, got a quick pass off. Schrader not known for reading the blitzes or reading defenses all that well.
Well, in case anybody who's a Raider fan out there was wondering whether or not Jay Schrader would take the team into the regular season, there should be no more doubts now. Obviously, Mike Shanahan is letting Schrader have all the reps. Steve Berline might get in later, but Schrader needs to get as sharp as he possibly can before the Charger game next week. Oh, nice play by the Bear defense.
Dick Shapura fighting for a job comes in there.
Along with Dante Jones.
The Bears have to keep Woods, and I think it's going to come down to Shannon and Smith. They're both in there now at the end positions.
John Shannon also a special teamer of note, and that will certainly help his cause as the Raiders are set to snap their 7th play of this drive. Schrader. Oh, almost. Lemuel Stimson got in the way.
He went for the interception, Tim, and it almost cost him, but he was able to recover and at least save the touchdown.
Well, it did cost him because Mike Alexander picked up the 1st down. And now the Raiders take another look on the replay. Right on top of your screen, Lemuel reads the play, moves in, but at 5'9", you know, you hate to harp on that. He's a little short, and he just didn't have enough length or height to get into the passing lane.
He gambled and lost.
And right now the Raiders, now they give, it's not a 1st down. I stand corrected. It's 3rd and 1.
Smith better get off the field.
With the ball on the 3-yard line, so he was just short of the 1st down stick.
He just made it. Oh, Bears stuffed that play.
Kerry Porter, the ball carrier, and Dante Jones, one of several tacklers.
Fridge off the bottom of the pile, and yeah, Jones was there, and the Fridge kind of made that pile a little bigger.
Well, certainly, if you're going to try and gain yardage straight ahead against the Bear defense and run at William Perry, you're going to have to get some real drive in those blockers. That's one thing he does extremely well, is stuff up the running lanes. There's the measurement.
I can't believe he made it.
I think he did. Yes, he did. 1st down, Los Angeles. 1st and goal on the 2. Well. 1 minute 45 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Tony Woods comes in there now in his goal line stand.
second touchdown of the football game.
He's in.
And Los Angeles has tied up the football game 27-27. And wow, what a turn of events, as we were chortling through the first moments of this, or actually through the almost to halftime, and suddenly Los Angeles, against the first string Bear defense largely, has scratched right back into the football game.
Not only into it, into the lead.
Well, if
they make the extra
convert,
point.
absolutely. And once again, it's only an exhibition game. But however, Brad, here are the Raiders without their two headliners, Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen, and moving the ball very effectively against the Bears' first-string defense.
Well, here's a team that's 0-3 and has frankly looked miserable all preseason.
Jaeger converts. The Raiders lead 28-27. 1 minute and 22 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the Bears are in a real battle here in Los Angeles. Now kickoff after scoring from 34 yards out. It took them 9 plays to get there.
Hard to believe the Bears once led 20-0 early in the second quarter.
Yes, it is. Seems like a while ago. This is Jaeger, who is the Raider kicker, came over from Cleveland. He's done a nice job. This one will be tough to field. Brian Taylor from inside the 5. He's got a lane. Bursts up inside across the 30-yard line. The best return of the day for the Bears. Emmanuel King stopped him after a 28-yard pickup. Now, Brian Taylor, Brad, honestly, I don't see any way he can make this football team, but he has been the Bears' best kickoff man this preseason.
He showed me a lot, Tim, and I think there's a chance you'll see him on that 6-man developmental squad.
I think so, too. Tom Waddle is now in the game, fighting for a job. He's in the slot inside Wendell Davis as you look at Mike Ditka. Davis down at the bottom of your screen, Waddle in the slot. And Harbaugh pitches to Brian Barrow.
Ditka had high hopes for Barrow, but he, I don't know if he leveled off or what, but he certainly hasn't shown enough to beat out Matsui.
Well, he ran right into Mike Wise's face and went nowhere. No gain. Harbaugh wide open. Cap Boso with the reception, up right around the first down yardage.
Raiders came with 5 men that time, red dogging one of the linebackers, putting pressure on Harbaugh.
And it is a first down as Otis Wilson made the stop. 11-yard gain on it. But as you can see, Otis moving well on that surgically repaired knee, and right now the Raiders are moving well. And so is the Bear offense. It's a real dogfight. 28-27 Los Angeles with 15 minutes of football left to play here in Los Angeles. No way. Harbaugh, by the way, 3 of 3 for 49 yards and a touchdown. So both Harbaugh and Tomczak have performed extremely well against this porous Raiders secondary. The flag is thrown before Harbaugh can get set in the pocket. Let's wait for the call.
Well, somebody must have jumped.
False start, number 64, offense.
That's the Watson, the Bears rookie.
Personable, I'll buy that. But I'm sorry, I'm very sorry to see him fumble as he did, because it would appear that would clinch his being cut. That's too bad. Boy, Brian Taylor running into a brick wall in the middle of that Raider defense. Bill Piquel was in there.
To be honest with you, I think his fate was pretty much sealed coming into this game.
Well, I agree with you. And I also agree with you that Matsui has not been beaten out. But if there were any doubt, I would think the fumble might erase it.
Right. In other words, it would take a great play on his part to have a shot, and a play like that kind of, you're right, is the last straw, so to speak.
We're looking at 2nd and 13 now, as Taylor picked up 2 on the 1st and 15 situation. Ball just outside the 40. Harbaugh going deep.
Oh, force that.
Oh, Mike Richardson lost himself out there, and Tom Waddle, fighting for a place on this football team, makes a great catch 59-yard touchdown. Mike Richardson had Waddle covered all the way. All of a sudden, he turned around, Brad, to find where the football was, and a very silly mistake for a veteran cornerback to make.
I couldn't believe it. First of all, I couldn't believe Harbaugh threw the ball because he was so well covered by Richardson. But look at Richardson, all of a sudden just whirls around looking for the football. Play the man, Mike. Oh, man, that's just a horrible play by Mike Richardson. And he had the guy covered like glue, and then for some reason he decides to turn around.
Well, Tom Waddle is not exactly a burner, and Richardson was with him step for step. And the Bears have burst back into the lead with great swiftness.
Thanks to Mike. They don't call him LA for nothing.
Yes, I suppose so. I would imagine that play didn't.
I was going to say Mike
make Mike Ditka very happy, I'm sure. Butler with the conversion. The Bears now with a 34-28 lead. 14:09 left to play. Lots more football still ahead from the Los Angeles Coliseum.
Plays using 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Scoring on a 59-yard touchdown pass from Jim Harbaugh to Tom Waddle. Ladies and gentlemen, your Los Angeles Raiders now publish their own colorful, informative tabloid newspaper. For subscription information on this outstanding publication, the Los Angeles Raiders newspaper, check page 49 of your game program, or just call the Raider office. And tickets for next Sunday's big opening game.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
If Waddle doesn't play again, he'll have a great moment to remember as Stephon Adams brings back this kickoff. And the ball is being ruled down by the head linesman as Steve Heitch was involved on the play. 67 yards in 4 plays in just 2 minutes and 13 seconds. The climax being Harbaugh's pass to Waddle. The Bears lead at 34-28, and now Steve Berline enters the game for the Los Angeles Raiders to play the last 14 minutes and see what he can do. He came in last week against Houston, Brad, and really lit the Raider offense alive. Did a nice job.
He's got a lot better numbers in the preseason.
Oh, he's going deep to Alexander. Oh, there's going to be a flag.
Intercepted by Stinson.
But forget about it.
Yeah.
It's all coming back. Stinson has the football, and he's just running for the exercise right now because Alexander was annihilated.
Well, Berline not known for going to the bomb. That's Schrader's territory. Berline is more of a possession, stay away from making the big mistake type of a quarterback. And this time, you got the Bears to commit a big penalty.
Boy, the fridge was being held in there. You saw his shirt being ripped away, and there it is.
Actually, the
number
pass
36,
yeah.
Marcus Paul, just wipes Alexander out, and that's a costly mistake for the Bears and for Marcus Paul. They like Marcus Paul. He's a rookie from Syracuse. He's a big hitter, 6'2", 200 pounds, but he played that one extremely poorly.
Well, I'd say it's between him and Todd Crum for that last defensive back spot. And it's significant that Paul is playing now and Crum is not. Well, it's not a good sign when you don't get to see much action in the last preseason game.
Yeah, but it's even worse when you commit a mistake like that gives the Raider offense 43 free yards.
Well, sometimes you give the rookie a little more leeway, though. But you're right.
1st and 10, Los Angeles on the Bear 28. Oh, nice run inside by number 39, Steve Strahan.
Yep.
First down as he ran right through the Bear defense. Marcus Paul made the stop, but not until Strahan got 12 yards.
That's right. He ran through those linebackers. I think he ran through Paul before he made the tackle. Let's see if Paul came up to force the play.
That's Sean Smith.
He runs by
55 is Roper. John Roper has not impressed after coming to camp and really lighting some people's eyes up with some big plays. He missed a meeting the other day and has not played well at all. He's been very inconsistent.
Not much of a rush here by the four-man front.
Berline intercepted. Great play.
Stinson again. No, it's Marcus Paul.
It's Marcus Paul who made the interference penalty and now the great interception. So Marcus redeems himself in a matter of moments.
He giveth and taketh away.
That time he tooketh.
And that will really impress Ditka.
Look at him playing center field in the middle, and he makes a tremendous move in front of Strahan to make the key interception. And the officials are going to have to give the Bears a touchback here.
Tim, when Berline let that ball go from this angle, didn't it look like 6 points?
Well, truly. But it's a difficult spot. Paul came down with the ball in the end zone.
He should have let it go right there. He held on to the ball too long. Berline blew the play. The man sprung open. Berline didn't release it in time. It should have been 6.
But Paul showed what every great free safety has to have, and that's the ability to close on the receiver as the ball is thrown. Wow, what a costume in that crowd. My goodness. Well, they didn't give him the ball in the 20. Apparently Paul scrambled forward over the goal line and up to about his own 3-yard line.
I thought you just took the word out of my mouth. Wow.
So now the Bears 1st and 10 on their own 3. They've had bad field position all day. This is the worst. Harbaugh pumps once, puts it outside. Brian Barrow makes the catch. Eddie Anderson makes the stop. A pair of 33s go after each other. Derek Crudup, number 23, also out there.
Well, Mike Richardson stays in the game for the Raiders. We haven't seen much of Mike until that play where he got burned for the touchdown. He was very inconspicuous. He was in there on some nickel coverages, but never really involved in the action. But when he was, he got burned, and he's in there again, the left corner.
Harbaugh's had a great day. Little Brian Taylor runs into a wall in the middle of the line, a wall led by Matt Millen, and Brian Taylor, Brad, is 5'10", 175, and that's liberal. I don't think he's anywhere near that tall or anywhere near that heavy, or at least he's near it, but when he runs inside for those tough yards, it's pretty hard for him to make that pile move.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is not his forte. He's a little scat back type of a runner.
Bears now looking at 3rd and 7 on their own 6.
Jerry Fontenot gone almost all the way at center for the Bears.
Harbaugh to the inside handoff, and Barrow.
Piquel got in there almost as quick as the ball.
Brian Barrow on the draw off the shotgun and nothing doing, and now the Bears are in a world of hurt because Maury Buford's going to have to kick this ball from back underneath his own crossbar.
The veteran Bill Piquel, not Pickle.
Well, he's been around a while and he's a good player, but he's lost his first-string job to Bob Golick, who came over as a Plan B free agent from Cleveland. Played a number of years at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that time Fontenot missed the block. Piquel, of course, plays a lot better when Howie Long's sitting next to him. But Golick, of course, a 3-time Pro Bowler. But he was cut by the Cleveland Browns after last season. He was a Plan B player.
Piquel was All-Pro in '86. And
picking up the flag, no penalty, 4th down.
And there you have it. Maury Buford now to kick.
Standing right on the end line.
And let's hope he does not commit the same mistake Jim Harbaugh made last week against the Chiefs when he stepped back into that white area and induced an automatic safety. The Raiders are asking what's going on with the official. Buford kicks it away quickly, and it's a good kick. It's going well past the midfield spell. Great kick by Buford all the way back to the Raider 38. Stephon Adams gets a great block and brings it well back upfield inside the Bear 40. John Shannon finally ran him out. A 23-yard return.
Eddie Anderson, Tim, threw that block. He's out of Fort Valley State. Don't ask me where that is, but watch number 33 come up with the block.
Boom,
right there.
Blindside. And that gives Adams the lane down the sidelines to pick up a couple extra yards. And once again, Los Angeles takes over with excellent field position.
What a punt, though, by Maury Buford.
It was a tremendous punt. He outkicked the coverage, obviously, but he kicked it back from the back of his own end zone all the way past the Raider 40-yard line. So you're talking 60, 70, maybe 75 yards he had that ball in the air.
Personal foul, number 8, kicking team.
Personal
15
foul
yards.
on Maury Buford? A personal foul on the punter. Maury, an illegal block right there by Land. It's not called, and Heitch got up and shoved Land, and we thought maybe it was 98, but no, they called it on Buford.
On the tackle, here's Berline handing the ball off to Derek Diener. Up inside the 15-yard line, and the Raiders are in real good shape.
This was regular season. We'd have a ding-donger going here, wouldn't we?
14-yard line, 2nd and 6.
We still do.
The Raiders average field position when they take over the football, their own 44. That's unbelievable. Just around midfield, every time you pick up the football, you ought to be able to put some points on the board, and they have 28 of them. Right now the Bears have 34.
Here's show blitz.
Still the tape jumping around, I believe.
He's itching to come, but he drops off.
Oh, nice stick. Mickey Pruitt in there after being hurt for a couple of games. The kid from Robeson High School in Chicago. Great job of stuffing up that run.
He's been bothered by a strained arch, but that was the hit of the game.
Derek Gainer was stopped in his tracks, and right now the Raiders are looking at 3rd and 3 with the ball on the Bear.
Ooh, right there. You see?
Great job. And Fridge got in a piece of the action too. Ball on the Bear 12, they're calling it. 3rd and a long 2. Big play. Berline will throw. Oh, he hit his receiver, Steve Strahan, but he lost the handle, bobbled it, and was knocked off the play by Marcus Paul.
Strahan heard footsteps. Boy, he should have caught that one, Tim. He had a number of Bears around him. He's lucky he didn't get it picked off as he was bobbling it.
And here's another look. Berline has time.
Yes, he does. A lot of time. And look at this. This has to be caught.
Boing. Marcus Paul was one of the people involved in that hit. And so now Jaeger will try to kick a 30-yard field goal. And if he is successful, will narrow the Bear advantage to 3 points, 34-31.
And set up the possibility of overtime.
Oh, geez, Brad, don't. There's the kick. And unfortunately, it's good. So it is 34-31. 9 minutes and 21 seconds to play. Overtime looms. Back in a moment. Seconds before we can worry about that. Very high kickoff with lots of hang time, and Taylor has got some room to run, but not much as he gets up over the 20. Jaeger not kicking him deep, but he's hanging him up there, and the Raiders special teams led by Eddie Anderson. Strahan, Derek Crudup, a lot of the guys down there to wrap up Ryan Taylor.
Number 82, offside.
Oh, man. Offside on a kickoff. It was Wendell Davis, but you talking about...
No, Charles Henry.
Oh.
Charles Henry.
On the kicking team. I beg your pardon.
I agree with you more. Oh my goodness, Jaeger really got a foot into that one. It was farther than the last kick, and he returns it to almost exactly the same spot. So after all that, Charles Henry came down and made the tackle after being offsides, and he made sure that Brian Taylor didn't get up any farther than he was before. All right, the Bears with a 3-point lead and about 9 minutes of clock to eat up here. Little Brian Taylor disappears under a wall of Raiders. Right up on top of him was number 92, Emmanuel King.
Ryan Taylor has been one of the more interesting stories of this entire Bear camp. He came out of nowhere, so to speak. His dad, Roosevelt Taylor, there was Harbaugh's statistics. Impressive half for Harbaugh, I would say. 5 of 5 for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Rosie Taylor was Mike Ditka's teammate in that '63 championship team, and called up Mike and said, hey, my kid didn't get drafted, Mike, can you give him a look? And kid's done all right.
Yes, he has. That is Gentry's back in the game. You see him in motion. Well, sends everybody into the pass pattern. Matt Millen made the tackle, and the catch was made by Dennis Gentry. Matt gets very affectionate with his Bear adversary. Watch that stuff. Nice play by Millen, and a very short gain, as the Bears now look at 3rd and about 3 from their own 29-yard line. So you watch Gentry in motion and then into the play, just sort of curls up inside of Millen and then is hit immediately. And Matt was the affectionate tackler on that play. 3rd and 3 on the 29-yard line. A possession down for the Bears, obviously. Throws it outside and incomplete, just out of reach of Brian Barrow, the fullback. Dan Land was involved in the coverage, and the Bears must kick it. Really, had Harbaugh thrown the ball any closer to Brian Barrow, it might have been intercepted. Nice punt by Buford, but not real good coverage yet. Well, I take that back. Good coverage indeed, as the Bears closed in a hurry. Matt Suey down there under that punt. How about that? And Brian Barrow, the two fullbacks, a 45-yard punt, a 2-yard return. It appeared Adams had plenty of cushion, and then Suey and Barrow closed the gap in a hurry to put the good hit on. And if I'm not mistaken, this will be the Raiders' worst field position of the day, as they'll put it in play from their own 28-yard line. To his tight end Mike Dial. Mickey Pruitt made the tackle. A quick out to the tight end. Berline has the stronger arm, it would seem to me, Brad. Schrader with a little more experience.
The stronger arm?
In my opinion. Schrader's been underthrowing a lot of his deep routes, and Berline has some real pop on the ball, although, as we mentioned in the interception by Marcus Paul, if he'd had a little more zip on it, it might have been a touchdown when he was looking for Steve Strahan in the end zone.
Yeah. Well, Schrader's known to have the stronger arm, but I think Berline might have the better touch. But you're right. I've seen him zip some today.
Well, he certainly zipped that one to Mervyn Fernandez, and the veteran receiver just flat out dropped the ball. Marcus Paul was closing, but not in time.
It's like you're driving off the tee with that lousy power pod. I mean, what good does it do to hit it long if you can't keep it on the golf course? And that's happened to Schrader a little bit. The guy, he's got a bazooka arm, but he's not accurate with it. Berline, by far, has been the more accurate passer, and the statistics bear that out.
Well, he put that one right where he was supposed to if Fernandez did not do his job. And now the Raiders with a 3rd and 5 on their own 33. And the Bear defense with a chance to take the football away with just over 7 minutes left in the game. Oh, great catch. Timmy Ware, number 15, with a sensational catch for 11-yard pickup, and the Raider first down, as Berline did a real nice job of putting that ball out there, and Ware reaching up to get it.
And I wonder where Ware's been. We didn't see him in that Raider game last week.
And he was hurt a little bit.
He had one catch coming into this game.
Heitch and Lemuel Stinson were on the coverage, but Ware did a great job, and now it's a first down Los Angeles on their own 44 with 6:20 to play. Bears leading it by 3. Steve Strahan, or Derek Gainer, I'm sorry, carried, and John Roper tackled. For a short gain. About 3-yard pickup, and 2nd and 7 is the situation now for the Raiders. And as the clock winds down, Brad, the chance of a tying field goal hovers on the horizon like an ugly rain cloud here in Los Angeles. Well, you know, I must say that as we look at the action on the field, the horizon is cleared up. The smog is the lightest I've seen in a long time. So it's a beautiful day.
False start. Number 78, offense, Second down.
That's Tim Rother, first year out of Nebraska, 4th-round pick a year ago, but on an injured reserve last year. They had a lot of guys hurt last year, the Raiders did. A lot of guys still hurt.
It's a game of injuries here in the NFL. Collision Sports 2nd and 11 now for Los Angeles. Berline, wide open is Mervin Fernandez. He breaks free. He might beat Lorenzo Lynch for the end zone, and he does. The Los Angeles Raiders have struck for 57 yards and a touchdown and taken the lead away from the Bears as Mervin Fernandez, cutting over the middle in front of the Bears secondary, outraced Lorenzo Lynch for the touchdown. Mike Shanahan is sitting on top of the lead right now.
Well, here it is again. Berline, nice crossing pattern right over the middle, and that was Stinson who had the coverage on the play, and Fernandez outraced him, and there he outraces Lynch as well. Fernandez with 4.55 speed in the 40. He's the slowest of the wide receivers on the Raiders, but of course they've got a lot of fast people on there. Tim Brown and Willie Go.
Well, a big play by Fernandez. Mickey Pruitt was picked off. Lemuel Stimson and Marcus Paul. Now the Bears are looking up at a 38-34 deficit. Back in a moment from Los Angeles. Whips his blocker and buries Berline. Hits him right in the face, but Steve Berline has the last laugh as Berline gets up on his feet and says, touchdown, Los Angeles. And on the kickoff, Brian Taylor covers it in the end zone, so the Bears will come out from their own 20 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. Number 25 is Dan Land for the Raiders. And number 54 there is John Addix, who is now going to get a chance to keep his job as the Bear backup center. And once again, the Bear running backs will be Taylor and Barrow.
Addix getting into the game this late, though. This is his first action. Doesn't bode well for his chances.
Well, let's see what the Bears' chances are here. As Harbaugh gives it to Taylor on the delay. And he doesn't go far. Bill Purcell was involved in the tackle. I'll tell you what does mean something. I know Mike Ditka's got to be disappointed with the way the defense has performed, as they have been very, very generous in the last 2.5 quarters of the game. Harbaugh steps up inside.
Good protection again.
Wide open. Ron Morris. Wide open upfield for a 16-yard reception as Tom Benson finally forced him out along with Dan Land.
Been a real shootout, Tim.
The kind of game that Tom Zach had in Miami in the first preseason game.
Play action.
Harbaugh going deep. Way downfield to Glenn Kozlowski, who's out there and can't hold on to the football as he almost made a spectacular catch.
He's hurt. He's hurt. It's that knee.
Oh, geez, what a shame. That's the reason he didn't hold on. Oh, he is in agony. That's the knee that's bothered Glenn Kozlowski, and this is really a terrible thing.
Oh, he's in a lot of pain down there.
I'm so sorry to see that. Straight preseasons of 1 win and 3 losses apiece.
But they got to within 1 game of the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, the point being that a 1-3 preseason does not a disaster make, but it's not exactly a reason for a celebration either. Harbaugh. Coley drops the football. Too bad. Eddie Anderson was on the coverage, but James Coley, the big rookie tight end from Clemson, had a real chance to shine as Harbaugh threw it just a little bit behind him. And still, Brad, talking to a lot of the Bear players, we have to assume James Coley will make the team because we've got to have 3 tight ends.
I think right now Coley's not going to make the 47-man.
Also, Mustard could play tight end in a real emergency.
Right.
All right, a big down, 3rd down. 10 to go on the 41. Harbaugh hits Gentry. He has the first down as he carries Zeph Lee on up to the 45-yard line, and that's why Dennis Gentry is so very valuable as he comes up underneath the coverage for a 14-yard gain. And the Bears will retain possession, moving it into Los Angeles territory. Nice pass by Harbaugh as Gentry simply outran his cover man, Zeph Lee, and then 26 Van McElroy came up to help clean up. 3 minutes and 39 seconds to play here in the Coliseum. This is Mark Green. Picked up one, perhaps. Emmanuel King stopped him. Mark Green back in the game now in place of Brian Taylor at tailback. Green has picked up 13 yards and 4 carries.
Else was talking in my ear.
You see the clock. Here you see Harbaugh. Goes outside to Biro. He's got it. Does not get out of bounds. Keeps the clock rolling, but picks up the first down. Emmanuel King was over to put the clamps on him.
Dan
a
Lamb missed him.
16-yard pickup. And Harbaugh did a great job of reading the coverage. Barrow got open. And Mike Ditka
with a green tie.
Well, he's into this game.
He's in every game.
Of course he is.
He's in every news conference.
He's into everything he does. He's into every commercial, and boy, there are a lot of them. Wow, there are a lot of commercials. First down, Bears. Brian Taylor up and over. Bill Pickell was in on the tackle, as was Derek Crudup, number 23. And we're approaching the 2-minute warning now, with the Bears down by 4 points, but in beautiful position to perhaps win this football game and pull it out. We'll be back in a moment. Ourselves, Brad, a very entertaining football game. Lots of good things, a few bad things, but great pageantry.
Yes, it is entertaining. Big plays on both sides.
475 yards total offense for the Bears. Harbaugh really under the gun. Wendell Davis makes another touchdown catch.
And again, he was interfered with.
Oh, my God. Have a game. Wendell Davis, our most valuable player by a landslide. What a performance he has put in. 23 yards for the score.
That time it was Van McElroy, the free safety, who interfered with Davis. The other time it was the corner, Lionel Washington. But again, Harbaugh, you know, people have been downgrading Harbaugh this preseason. You got to like what you see today. Watch this pass and watch the way Wendell Davis plays it, fighting off the interference there by the free safety, and makes his 3rd touchdown grab of this football game. And now Harbaugh, 10 of 13 for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Really something. What a day.
And the Bears have themselves the lead.
And it's now a 3-point lead, Brad. There goes the ominous horizon of a tie, but I don't think that's going to happen. The Bear defense.
The whole crew at Channel 7 enjoying bringing this football game to you. Nice kickoff by Butler, and Adams is going to bring it out of the end zone. Let's see how the Bears go. Oh, he has a lane. It's closed, but not until Adams gets up to about the 28-yard line. Marcus Paul was in there. 33-yard pickup.
I'll tell you, Tim, when you get to do 2 football games a year, it's really something how the crew at Channel 7 can pull together and put on such a professional job.
Incidentally, I called Marcus Paul on the stop. It was actually Brian Taylor, both wearing number 36, but little Brian doing everything, returning the kicks and covering them. Marcus Paul is now in the game as a safety. Berline 3 of 6 for 73 yards. And that big touchdown to Mervyn Fernandez. He has 1 minute and 47 to try and do something about that 3-point Bear lead. Oh, he overthrows Fernandez. Emil Stinson not quite tall enough to make the interception. And I'm going to stop harping on that because I'm 5'9" myself, and I don't like people saying I'm too short. But Lemuel Stinson was in good position to make the interception. It was just a little too high for him.
Well, you're not too short to do a sportscasting job.
Well, I suppose that's a matter of opinion.
What? Is there some sort of a height advantage to this?
You got to make sure you have a stool that's high enough. You look at the total offense yardage. The Bears are really racking it up. Almost 500 yards. But they haven't been able to stop the Raiders either. At least not until now. Berline over the middle, and another drop pass for Steve Strahan, who must have put a little bit of that hot stuff on his hands. He's not able to hold on. That's his second drop today.
Remember Lester Hayes? He used to have
Fourth
that
drop, yes, I know.
stick him
I remember
all the
that
way
well.
up to his armpits.
Well, Strahan could use some today. That's the fourth drop by the Raiders. And despite that, Berline and Schrader have put pretty good numbers up. 3rd and 10 now for the Raiders on their own 28-yard line, and with a minute and a half to play, this could be their last gasp. That ball was tipped in line, but it was still, no, it's dropped, no good. It looked to me like Strahan had held on that time, but Steve Heitch, the rookie from Livingston State, he's number 98 there, took the ball away or knocked it away from Strahan, and so now the Raiders are really looking up at it as they call a timeout. Their first charge timeout of this half. And Berline and Mike Shanahan will talk about what could be their last offensive play of the football game.
I can't think of anybody we have not seen outside of Brent Snyder, the quarterback. I think we've seen every player. Todd Crum's in there now, playing at the safety position, but he hasn't played much today, nor has John Addix, the backup center from a year ago.
Well, that's the whole point of this game, is to get one last look at everybody and see who sticks and who flies away.
And the cuts come out Monday. Bears will have a team meeting at 9 o'clock. And for some, for 12 members of this football team, it'll be their last hurrah. Well, maybe not 12 now, because if Glenn Kozlowski did suffer a disabling knee injury earlier in this quarter, then that would put him on injured reserve and open the door for a player like Tom Waddle, who caught a bomb for a touchdown today.
4th and 10 Raiders, the ball on their own 28. This is Berline with plenty of time. Oh, Todd Crum almost intercepted the ball, but it really doesn't matter that much because the Bears will take over the football.
It mattered to Crum.
Well, you bet it did. It certainly did. And had he been able to make a clean pick, he could have gone all the way because he had a real head of steam up heading toward the Bears sideline. But Mike Shanahan has apparently seen his last opportunity. Flitter away.
They're singing the nah, nah, hey, hey, goodbye here.
Ooh, Todd had it right on the numbers and just couldn't put the clamps on it. Yes, the several thousand Bear fans are picking up the White Sox victory taunt.
Taunt?
Well, isn't that taunting somebody when you're yelling goodbye to him and you've apparently won the game? Sort of like Red Auerbach lighting up a cigar. Although he couldn't stand to be in the same room with you, I tell you. I mean, if you're talking about dueling cigar smoke.
Oh.
But otherwise, he'd love you.
Well, you guys don't seem to object.
Oh, it's all right, because it's open air, and I smoke cigars, too. All right, there's the comparison, Brad, of the two quarterbacks, and you see that both numbers are outstanding. Tom Zach, 13 of 18, 164 yards and a touchdown. Harbaugh, 10 of 13 for 183 yards and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions for either one, and boy, they both are going to take Wendell Davis out and buy him a milkshake tonight because Wendell's really made them both look good.
Yeah, no sacks either. Both quarterbacks enjoyed great protection today. The whole Bear offense, I thought, Ditka was looking for consistency. He's got to feel good that he got it today. Not only did they eat up the yardage, but they didn't have the silly penalties. I think the offense, we had that one penalty. Somebody jumped too soon in the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. But the other penalties I don't think were offensive. They were defensive or special teams. So it was really almost a flawless performance by the Bears. And I mean, you have to remind you, it's against a defense that's not in the upper echelon of the NFL.
True, but on the other side of the football, the defense has perhaps raised some concerns. The secondary had some trouble in coverage, Donnell Wolford in particular. True. And the rush wasn't that great either from the up front guys. So the Bear defense is going to have to shore up the cracks before next Sunday's game as the Raiders call a quick timeout.
Sometimes, though, when you get an early 20-0 lead and you're in a preseason game, guys, especially the veterans, and the veterans who are in there, tend to slack it up a little bit. I think come next Sunday, Cincinnati Bengals, I think you'll see that Bear defense, the intensity will be back. The intensity was lacking here today.
I think that's a very good analysis, and I also think that Donnell Wolford learned a lot of things today, and there's been no way to avoid picking him out because the Raiders have been picking on him, but he has the athletic ability. He hasn't been in a full preseason training camp,
Tim,
so he has some excuses out there.
Let's face it. Who would you rather have out there, Mike Richardson, Lemuel Stinson, or Donnell Wolford? It's as simple as that.
It's a given. And you know, I don't mean to pick on Mike Richardson either, because he always used to tell me when he was with the Bears, the only time you guys talk about me is when I make a mistake. Well, I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but I do know that Mike has been in a couple of embarrassing positions today, and he's not acquitted himself well the last 2 weeks. And he has definitely lost his starting job here with the Raiders.
We always give credit when a guy comes up with a big play. Maybe he just didn't make enough of them.
It's Matsui chugging it up inside close to a first down.
Well, you know, we would have had more opportunity to give Mike credit if he hadn't dropped 6 balls that should have been interceptions last year.
The Raiders cannot stop the clock anymore, and we're inside of 55 seconds now. Bears leading at 38-34.
And I like Mike. I'm just being honest on trying to assess his performance.
He changed that to 41-38. Bears lead, and they have the ball now 4th down and 1 on the Raider 19 as we're winding down to 35 seconds to play. And the Bears need to make this first down to keep it away from the Raiders. Oh, a mix-up in the backfield. Matsui does not make the first down. And the clock stops at 21 seconds to go, and maybe not a costly mistake, but it's going to give the Raiders at least one chance for a Hail Mary.
All he needs a field goal. All they got to do is get down to the field goal range here.
Let's see what happens.
We've seen some
stranger things happen, I know.
In this game, Tim, I mean, all of a sudden bombs have come out of nowhere. A defender makes a mistake, and boom, 6 points.
Yeah. Had we had our druthers, it would have been preferable to make that first down and nail it up right here. The one thing the Raiders don't have going for them, a lot of things they don't have going for them, but one is that they cannot stop the clock on a long completion, unless they get out of bounds.
Here, the Bears aren't going to give up the bomb because they're playing too soft.
Well, let's hope you're right about that. Berline has all day to throw it up there. Oh, that was very close, but intercepted. No, ruled off. Incomplete. As Lemuel Stinson was right up there. Great leap. He had a chance for the interception. Apparently had it and then dropped it as he hit the ground.
And in that case, unless you're going to get the sure interception, just knock it down. Well, he almost deflected that ball to a Raider.
That's what the Hail Mary is all about, when you deflect it up in the air and it does turn into a reception. But you're acting instinctually in a situation like that, or instinctively.
True.
Berline has missed his last 5 passing attempts, and right now, after a spectacular start, is 3 of 10 for 73 yards. Most of them coming on that long touchdown to Mervyn Fernandez. There's Berline moving out of the pocket, throwing deep again. A lot of people in the area, and it's out. Oh! It's almost deflected to Mike Alexander. And that's the football game. It's all over. That was the last play. The Bears have held on to even their preseason record at 2-2. 41-38 the final score as Mike Shanahan walks off the field with his play sheets. And the Bears with a very strong offensive performance for Mike Ditka. A little bit shaky on defense, but all in all, a decent way to wrap things up and get ready for next Sunday when the Cincinnati Bengals come to Soldier Field.
I think it's a given the Bear defense is going to come through. I mean, that's been the staple of this football team. The concern has been the offense, especially with the trade of Jim McMahon. Hopefully the play today of Tom Zach and Harbaugh has instilled some confidence, not only in this football team, because I think they had confidence in those 2 players, but in the fans. I hope they'll get off their case.
Well, you can see the Los Angeles Coliseum was practically emptied out before the game was over, and now they're fleeing for the exits. With the Bears enjoying a 41-38 advantage, Otis Wilson is still out on the field, exchanging pleasantries with those of his Bear teammates that he used to enjoy. Richard Dent.
Willie Gault out there with Singletary and Dent. Yeah,
William Perry is out there. Dave Duerson, I should say. And the The Bears have won it 48-38. Now they head back home, and we'll head to a break and be right back after this.
Chicago Bears preseason football, brought to you in part by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.